What do you think is the #1 factor that determines whether you succeed in life? The #1 factor. Shout them out. Anyone. The #1 factor.
Confidence.
Confidence?
Persistence.
Persistence?
Good looks. Good looks.
Good looks.
Good looks. Yeah.
These are all good answers. Good answers.
Mindset.
All wrong,
Mindset.
but good. They're not wrong answers. It's just they're not the #1 factor. The #1 factor is often overlooked. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow members, and honored guests. Imagine if you were with me in a warm, sunny July day on my neighbor's porch in Jonestown, Pennsylvania, where I once lived. I was talking with my neighbor. Her name was Mrs. Mason. Now, she was a nice, wonderful, middle-aged woman. And we're having a nice neighborly conversation when all of a sudden she drops the bomb on me. She says, "Richard, you should apply to West Point. I think you make a great fit." West Point, I'm thinking in my mind. Let me clarify to you guys, West Point happens to be the most prestigious military institution in the whole country. So instantly I'm filled with all this self-doubt. And I say to her, "Mrs. Mason, I don't know. West Point has what? A 9% acceptance rate, you said? How do I even know if I'm worthy of the experience? Or if I'm what they're looking for? I don't have a military background. I don't even think I'm worthy of getting accepted." And then she looks at me with an unfailing quality of certainty on her face. And she says, "Richard, I have no doubt in my mind that you can make it." Those words were so important to me. Because at that time, I was thinking of all the reasons why I couldn't make it, while she was thinking of all the reasons why I could. Mrs. Mason believed in me at a time where I didn't even believe in myself. Was there ever a time in your life where you didn't believe in yourself? On top of that, when it came time to applying to the school, let me tell you, applying to a service academy is way different than applying to any normal school or normal college. It's very complicated, very arduous, and I was new to it, so Mrs. Mason was there guiding me one step at a time through the process until I was able to pick up and do it on my own. And what was the result? Well, this past September, I was fortunate to receive a letter of assurance from West Point. Now, this is a conditional promise of acceptance into the academy. The fact that I received it all the way in September was an indicator that I was a top prospect for the school. Me, a top prospect? The kid that didn't even believe he could get in. How did this happen? And this goes back to the #1 factor, mentorship. I had a mentor. Had it not been for Mrs. Mason, I would have never even applied. And you know what I realized from this whole experience? At the end of the day, someone paved the way. At the end of the day, someone paved the way. So I look back at all my accomplishments, all my achievements, and take into account that I wouldn't have been able to accomplish any of them had it not been for my mentors. They paved the way. So think back to your achievements, your accomplishments in life. Where did you acquire the skills or the knowledge or the encouragement or inspiration to accomplish those tasks? Who guided you when you needed guidance the most? Because at the end of the day, someone paved the way. The National Mentorship Partnership says that students who are mentored are bound for greater educational achievement. And that 52% of those students who are mentored are less likely to even skip a day of school. And I researched and found that Steven Spielberg, if you guys know him, a well-known director, he had a very interesting insight on the topic of mentorship. And he said, the delicate balance of mentoring is not creating someone in your own image, but giving them the opportunity to create themselves. So my call to action for you guys today is 3 things. 1, acknowledge that at the end of the day, someone paved the way. 2, see a mentor. And 3, be a mentor. Now some of you might be thinking, Richard, you're a nice kid and you have a nice message, but I'm not exactly the youth like yourself, so why would I need to see a mentor? And to that I would say 2 things. 1, you're only as old as you feel. And 2, there's an old proverb that says, plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors they succeed. So you're not only a wise person if you're the person giving quality advice, you're wise if you're seeking it. So see a mentor. I do it and it's changing my life. And it can change yours. Now be a mentor. Listen, we all know that not everyone is blessed with good parents, good caring parents as they grow up. And it's very unfortunate. But it's not an excuse for why they can't succeed in life. Because this is what I've come to understand. I believe that all a person really needs to succeed in life is a good mentor. If you have someone, despite a terrible home life, if you have someone who can encourage you, someone who can guide you every step of the way, you're going to make it. What if you were that person that was giving someone that inspiration? You could change someone's life. Have the opportunity to change a life. Have an opportunity not to give back, but to pay it forward. Like Mrs. Mason and many other mentors in my life did for me. So be a mentor, see a mentor, and at the end of the day, someone paved the way. Mr. Toastmaster.